Today on Public Eye News, a new COVID variant has been identified in the U.S. and an update on the exciting NMU versus Lake Superior State hockey matchup.
Later, I will be having your weather update while Michael Cudahy will be giving you the sports. Hello, my name is Brendan Ford.
And I'm Michael Cudahy, and this is Public Eye News. And on Monday, a new ballot drive to expand voting was introduced here in the state of Michigan. The goal of the measure would be to extend early voting and allow for the request of absentee ballots in future elections. It would also make it so that prepaid postage is required on all return envelopes. The announcement comes right after Republicans announced a veto-proof plan that they say would improve election integrity. Democrats say that it would restrict the fundamental right of voting. And more than 160 dogs were recovered in a blight violation enforcement. The dogs were found in kennels all over the property, but mostly in vehicles, campers, and trailers. Animal Control and the Caryland Humane Center assisted with the dogs. The local sheriff's office is investigating. And for those wondering what is and isn't a motor vehicle, the state Supreme Court has deemed that snowmobiles driven by state employees are motor vehicles. This ruling is important because Aubrey West claims that she was thrown into a river and her father was trapped under his snowmobile after being forced off a road by two DNR officers riding their snowmobiles the wrong way back in 2018. Only one justice, Justin Brian Zara, had a dissenting opinion, arguing that snowmobiles should not be lumped in with cars and trucks as they lack many safety features that other vehicles have, and they do require a considerable amount of snow.
Democrats in the Michigan Senate wish to remove a statue of Lewis Cass, a former U.S. Senator, from the U.S. Capitol Statutory Hall. Lewis Cass, a former U.S. Senator from the state, supported slavery and owned slaves and removed Native Americans from tribal lands while serving in President Andrew Jackson's administration. Democrats wish to put a statue of Detroit's first black mayor instead, Coleman Young. The Republican-controlled Michigan legislature must approve any changes before they occur. And cruise ships are going to be returning in Muskegon this summer after 2 years of inactivity due to COVID. The Pearl Mist, a 6-deck, 210-passenger cruise ship, will be hitting the waters on June 7th. It is currently scheduled for 10 ports and will be staying overnight at 5 of them. After the heavy hit the cruise ship cancellation had on Muskegon's $300 million tourism market, the cruise ships are returning to explore the beauties of Lake Michigan. And in Beloit, Wisconsin, a shooting outside of Beloit Memorial High School resulted in the death of a 19-year-old former student. The shooting took place after a basketball game and had about 40 eyewitnesses who are refusing to speak on the situation to the police. Police are growing tired of witnesses refusing to cooperate, and no suspects have been taken into custody quite yet. And after this break, we will be back with your national and international news. Don't touch that dial.
On the next Legacy List with Matt Paxton. Matt is in Boston to help an old friend clear out his family's home before putting it up for sale.
I can hear it in your voice, like, oh yeah, we have to sell the house. Like, we don't want to do that.
Things get emotional as they go through 40 years of memories.
Yep.
And find one item that brings the past to life.
I am Dad.
Oh, wow.
Tonight at 9 on WNMU-TV.
Welcome back. 127 people in nearly half of the U.S. states have contracted a new COVID variant, BA.2. The new variant is more than 1.5 times more transmissible than the original Omicron variant, and it does not appear to be any more dangerous, and it seems to be protected by the current vaccines, according to the United Kingdom Health Security Agency. The new version of Omicron has become the dominant version in Denmark these past few weeks. And the storm that slammed the northeast and mid-Atlantic over the weekend has moved on, but the cleanup and hazardous conditions remain. CBS's Wendy Gillette is in hard-hit Long Island, New York, with more.
The snow has stopped in the northeast, but the dangerous winter weather has not ended.
As long as we can take our cars out, we're good.
At least 12 inches of snow fell in 9 states this past weekend. Parts of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New York got more than 2 feet.
First, I thought it was ridiculous when they were saying that we had 20 inches of snow in Comac. After seeing this driveway, it's quite obviously I was wrong.
The worst conditions were seen along the coast. At the height of the storm, Nantucket streets were underwater. Here on the east end of Long Island, New York, the primary concern now isn't flooding, it's the bitter cold.
The cleanup of this storm will not be easy because of the temperatures that we have now. The goal is to have things ready for the morning commute.
Dangerously cold air moved in as the region dug itself out on Sunday.
Hopefully the car starts so I can back it off the driveway. I just need to get it out so I can be at work tomorrow.
The National Weather Service says the highest snow accumulation was recorded in Stoughton, Massachusetts. The town officially received 30.9 inches. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, Riverhead, New York.
The Federal Aviation Administration is allowing Verizon and AT&T to turn back on 5G towers after an ease in fear of interference with safety equipment on jetliners. The radio frequency used for 5G networks is similar to the ones used by altimeters, which measures a plane's altitude and helps pilots land when visibility is reduced due to bad weather conditions. After the Federal Aviation Administration found that 90% of commercial aircraft's altimeters are safe in 5G networks, they worked with 5G providers on mapping out where to best lay these towers out around airports. And North Korea has fired off their 7th round of test missile launches this month. The missile fired this time reached a height of around 1,250 miles and distance of 500 miles, landing in the sea. This is their longest range ballistic missile they have fired since 2017. While North Korea claims that their missile testing is a right to self-defense, South Korean President Moon Jae-in states that it violates the UN Security Council resolutions. And with just 4 days to go before the Winter Olympics kick off in Beijing, China is reporting a spike in COVID-19 cases. Infections are being reported inside the Olympic bubble too, making some athletes nervous. CBS's Tina Kraus reports from London.
Athletes are in a race to stay clear of COVID, with dozens of cases reported in the tightly controlled Olympic bubble designed to keep competitors safe.
You're just so stressed about, making sure you're as safe as you can be.
Massachusetts native Chris Masder, who won Team USA its first ever Olympic medal in singles luge in 2018, hopes COVID won't destroy his dreams of gold this time around.
It would be a tragedy. And so that's always kind of on your mind, and it is stressful.
Some 3,000 athletes from across the world will take part in the Winter Games. They'll have to wear masks and be tested daily for the virus. Florida bobsledder Josh Williamson hadn't even made it to Beijing when he got a positive test, posting on Instagram he delayed his flight but still hopes to compete. Beijing has reported its highest number of COVID-19 cases in 18 months, less than a week before the Games begin. After 20 more cases hit the capital, officials locked down neighborhoods and tested residents. Athletes say they're doing their best to stay focused.
Every athlete that's competing here, I think, has obviously put a lot of effort into staying as safe as they can.
So when the time comes to compete, COVID won't stand a chance. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
After this break, we'll be back with your weather and sports update. Stay tuned.
At the end of the world, in the high mountains of Chile, there is an icy realm. It belongs to pumas. This is their stronghold and home. But here, a mother can never rest, and cubs must be quick on their feet, because this land is not for the faint of heart.
Wednesday night at 8 on WNMU-TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. My name is Brendan Ford, and I will be your weatherman for today. If we take a look behind me at the NMU Academic Mall, we can see that there's some snow on the ground, but you can see that sun shining. So we're hoping that it melts some of that snow and makes it easier for us to get to class. Let's get into today's current conditions. It is partly sunny with a temperature of 30 degrees, with the winds heading out of the south at 16 miles per hour and a barometric pressure of 29.90 and falling. Looking at tonight, we can expect to see some wind and a cloudy sky with a low of 27 degrees and winds heading out of the south at 20 miles per hour, 20 to 30 miles per hour. And looking into tomorrow, it will be cloudy with a high of 38 degrees, finally warming up. And there will be winds heading out of the southwest at 22 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and look all over the UP, starting in Sault Ste. Marie with a temperature of 25 degrees and cloudy. Moving on to Manistee, those clouds will continue and it will be 30 degrees. And in Escanaba, we can slightly see the sun with a temperature of 26 degrees. Let's go ahead and look into Menominee. It is 30 degrees and cloudy. And in both Iron Mountain and Ironwood, it is sunny, no clouds at all in the sky, with Iron Mountain having a temperature of 29 degrees and Ironwood 30. Up in Houghton, the warmest of them all right now, it is 32 degrees and partly cloudy, and here in Marquette, it is 30 degrees and cloudy. Let's go ahead and get into your future updates. On Wednesday, it will be a high of 14 degrees and a low of 3 degrees, partly cloudy. And on Thursday, it will continue to be partly cloudy with a high of 8 degrees and a low of 1 degree. And on Friday, we can see that it will be completely cloudy, no sun at all, with a high of 15 and a low of 2. Let's get into that sports update with Michael Cudahy.
Hi there. We have so many sports and so little time, so let's get into it. We know the Super Bowl matchup. It will be the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals roared back from a 21-3 deficit in Kansas City before taking the game to overtime, with the Bengals getting a crucial interception from Von Bell to take Patrick Mahomes off the field. Joe Burrow threw for 2 touchdowns in the win, but the Bengals' real star was kicker Evan McPherson, who kicked 4 field goals and an extra point and didn't miss a single one. The 49ers were knocked out by the Rams in what was an excellent game. Only the Lions had a Super Bowl caliber quarterback like Matt Stafford. And the Minnesota Wild have stayed red hot after beating the New York Rangers on the night they retired King of Broadway, Henrik Lundqvist's number in Madison Square Garden's rafters. Last night, they took down the New York Islanders 4-3. Brandon Duhaime and Joel Eriksson scored in the first period, with rookie Matt Boldy adding the 4th of his career. And Kirill the Thrill Dollar Bill Kaprizov scored the game winner in the 3rd period after goals by Brock Nelson and Ross Johnson for the Islanders in the 1st and 2nd periods of last night's game. And Oliver Wahlstrom scoring the 3rd goal last night. Capo Kakinen was the goalie for the Minnesota Wild last night, making 40 saves to shut down the Islanders. And the NMU hockey team had a weekend with David Kiefer notching 2 goals, including the game winner Saturday night. Both Rico DiMatteo and Charlie Glockner got a start over the weekend, with DiMatteo playing on Friday's dismal effort. And Glockner shut down Lake Superior State. He shut down their chance of winning Saturday night. And with Kiefer's overtime winning goal, the Wildcats avoided having as many goals as they did ejections over the weekend, as we saw Ryland Van Unen and Jet Jungles each ejected this weekend. The Lakers also had 2 ejections Friday night in their upset of the then 20th ranked team 6-1. Northern currently sits 5th in the CCHA, 6 points behind Bowling Green, who would currently be their first round matchup in the CCHA tournament. And both teams currently have 8 games remaining in their schedule.
Wow, this Kirill the Dollar Bill, he's just really talented. Tell me about him.
He's really good. He's really strong on his edges. He has an excellent shot, and he's a great playmaker.
Yeah.
He's a really small guy, but he doesn't mind playing physical and taking on bigger opponents.
Yeah, also a really exciting week for NMU, but I'm sorry, that looks like all the time we have today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Public Eye News. My name is Brendan Ford. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.